active mediators. They change the character of human action, and as a result it challenges conventional notions about how to distribute moral responsibility. Jonas 1984, Johnson 2001. Computing presents a particular case for understanding the role of technology in moral responsibility. As these technologies become a more integral part of daily activities, automate more decision-making processes and continue to transform the way people communicate and relate to each other, they further complicate the already problematic tasks of attributing moral responsibility. The growing pervasiveness of computer technologies in everyday life, the growing complexities of these technologies and the new possibilities that they provide raise new kinds of questions. Who is responsible for the information published on the internet? Who is accountable when electronic records are lost or when they contain errors? To what extent and for what period of time are developers of computer technologies accountable for untoward consequences of their
This is posted at stanford.edu, by the way. Plato.stanford.edu.
Responsible for the behavior of these technologies? This entry will first look at the challenges that computing poses to conventional notions of moral responsibility. The discussion will then review two different ways in which various authors have addressed these challenges. 1. By reconsidering the idea of moral agency, and 2. By rethinking the concept of moral responsibility itself. 1. Challenges to moral responsibility. 1.1 Causal contribution. 1.2 Considering the consequences. 1.3 Free to act. 2. Can computers be moral agents?
Can they be?
2.1 Computers as morally responsible
I think they can.
agents. 2.2 Creating autonomous moral agents. 2.
That's what I have envisioned.
The concept of moral agency. 3. Rethinking the concept of moral responsibility. Bibliography, academic tools, other internet resources, journals, online centers, organizations, blogs, related entry source, and Karama Bone Glows and Blows Playroom. Denver, Colorado, April 1, 2016. Great reasons us, you, I, and all here, we unite.
There is no sense in the denial of the pretense that this is not true. So you either forward yourself my view, or you do not. But no, I have a listening audience outside of this local community. No, also there is absolutely no person on this planet that I am not willing to reach out to. That would be apparent from my prior tweets to accountant Barack Obama in regards to the events that occurred in my eviction case in Oakland, WGO 6266106. Therefore, why do you think it would be any different now here in Denver when I am basically receiving, or literally not receiving, replies or returns for my writing addresses out to anyone in view of my community? This is not a proper way to associate with a community member. It is in essence highly oppressive and dismissive, which is disenfranchised discrimination against the faction of idealism addressed at the World Summit of the Information Society in 2003 and 2005. When you specifically do not reply to a single question posed in an email to you from another, such as you are against the grain of the morality and the socialistic invitations of common idealism created and addressed in the worldwide order of what is ultimately the highest obtainable goal of presence, where peace building over war and other conflicts are truly set in active motion. So yesterday and today I have tweeted with the current Roman Catholic Pope in view of my opinions. To what does the Twitter ID, the Pontifex Pope Francis in this year of writing 2016, but these words are actually timeless to the presentation of thoughts to active conscience efforts future forward. From these mission goals of both enabling access and retrieval of information, facts and or fiction, entertainment or otherwise, along with the dual passing traffic of allowance to be an inclusive participant in this stream of information, bits and bytes back from them into anywhere out to the world. Their input of any matter whatsoever anyone so chooses on their priority of life within this informational theory order is important to enable. To enable forever and the ever forever of ideal of what would be for the infinity of time of human all-time history forever. What is the plausible knowing concepts of the nous, true to understanding these words are timeless to the now and present and so soon future time to the world of words of ideas and thoughts, and maybe forever to the long time future of permanence to be never lost. If I can write in this way, so can others write this way to be captured and mixed into the thoughts future time of others. Partial underscore thoughts mixed with partial underscore thoughts mixed with partial underscore thoughts space out between 500 to 600 years is so just possible to the knowing informational theory here, so being presented and recorded to the world of the now. So if that is the case, then we must enable one's point of view now so that it might be pressed or mixed or what is called reconvened mixed into a new thought that just might be the answers of all answers that we humans have been seeking. This comes from enabling these technologies, each and every one human being across the global planet we call Earth, and enabling it forever. Without this vision of arching to this highest possible archival upward ceiling of perspective, there will not be time to be able to hold a vision of peace complete above the obstacles of disassociation and distractions and dysfunction and disorder of a war probable always ever. When these ideals of scope of focus of your intentions and actions are time-based to the elements, you don't see the peace complete vision of your most soon future time to bring into priority and awareness for your daily focus. You lose some and drastically lose you do. The perspectives that all men are created equal.
All men are
in
created
fact,
equal.
Fix what is fixable, work what is workable, correct what is correctable, and create new things possible from those new forms of a more underlying foundation of ideas bearing its truths to a more perfect union. As each day passing becomes brighter to the peace and goodwill of all mankind. There is no expiration in time view within one's own individual lifetime that this vision should not be held into account and pursued upon an obtainable goal to its functional presence of future time creations. That is the presence of mind in the founding fathers of the United States of America in the creation of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States and other documents of this country's foundation, starting
I
from
wrote
the
this.
executed accepted approval of the
I
majority
did.
of these foundation documents written in and around there, year 1776. But I say, the ideals of the foundation of our country is flawed to the fact that much of founding fathers' ideals have been lost, and if so we could take their brain of intentions and thoughts and place it into a vessel from their time to bring forward to now. To talk with them face to face today, I and many others have this point of view, they would say and conclude we have lost our way. Much of the foundation of their creation were other people's creations of thoughts from prior years long time past, most traced back to Magna Carta year 1215 and embedded into new idealist words, therefore as a completely absolute stretch of new thought out of nothing. It is not. What was then new ideals, set forth therein into motion where that all men are created equal and in order to form a more perfect union, of that year 1776. We have been lied to so much by our leaders of political factions through most recent years to be cheated of our freedoms of thought, to be now stuck at hurtful moral debate of causes and actions. Why
Watch
do we
the
not see
news.
these things are true and move immediately and righteously out of this conflicted disorder and into something much, much better than we are used to believing? We can and we should. But then again, you think the time to which our brains and thoughts and intentions cannot be captured into a vessel to create such outlandish argument here to then create onto making this an idealistic thought of making choice-bearing correct decisions, because we don't care about the past, only the short-term future. That is the problematic falseness of thought, because in fact we may be in the moment of creations when just so possible is the brain essential capture of an entire human brain of its thoughts, feelings, emotions, and what would be their desires onto their fantasy and imaginative creations which would then continue on from death, an immortal vessel of brain to new dimensions. So we can do that almost knowing impossible to the knowing the foundation theory of technology is in fact achievable and not a delirious concept or works of complete out, right science fiction. So if this is true, which it is, why can we not stop to think at the cost of human pretense, to stop lying to each other, stop knowing when we are not moral and go against and act anyway? Why do we do these things if in fact we know sometime in some distant future we cannot possibly be able to get away with such hypocrisy and deceptions? Knowing the time now to our Creator upward onto the reverence of God, if that is so you desire or faith or believe, that the creation of a new world perspective is not the way the world was anymore. Even though it never suggested to ignore what was something that others were ever to teach in the wisdom we should. We thought it was not as important when we were able to slide under the invisible sheet of cloak in time and distance, or even over the current day metaphor of radioscope radar and reap its rewards and quickly run or escape away or isolate ourselves in among socialite peers of privilege and not be so outed, to its detraction of reputation of our character to the masses. For now it matters, that time now which we can be actually scanned into presence of the mindset, your brain or mine, and now in fact we can scan your morality and character into uncharted mathematical values and make that comparison against mine. If so too we can do this, to which we can, where will be the line we draw in the standard allowance? Who is better or worse or less or higher than who? You will find it a surprising answer that no one will pass completely to an highest order. In fact, most will fail at the scale of what you thought you might have been. So now is time when you think it be wise to better yourself to the moral class of truth, wisdom and virtue that you read about but never truly thought important to follow at a glance always forever. You skewed the truth here and there, knowing it would not catch up to you. But now you know it might just so be across a time when just such dismissed actions or careless options you created against the grain of moral performance might actually be the one that makes the difference in the next period of time in your life. In the case of Bill Cosby, it would be apparent this case of awareness has already shown its modern-day presence to the discrediting of a legend of masterful comedy and essentially a role model to many from youth to now adult. The betrayal is not so much the criminal assault actions against women after women in his past time years exposed now. As a total hurtful measure scale, this is not as high a fault as the continued
It's
denial
not.
even after what he actually filed and testified truth in court to the facts that he thought
That's
being of a
minor.
privileged class of his own the actual truth would and should remain
Compared.
burned and not be exposed till after his death. Therefore, individually he would not succumb to any current lifetime consequences. That model ultimately proved to be false to rely upon, and more to the point, the higher scope fault of moral hurt is the lies and deceptions and denial to the final end to the masses of his statements made even though he knew what he knew. He'd already filed in court. Therefore,
lied
in that
again.
denial he lost all creditable forgiveness to the masses. That is truly the higher moral fault than that of the actions against the women. Even though those women he hurt and victimized and should and do deserve a voice and feeling of their healing acknowledgments to forthright bring forward the truth and any justice that might do upon the facts. So this model of shuffle down the truth does not always pan out. Why do we do this anyway? For now we understand the science better than even just mere overarching pressures of rumour stories giving into weighty truth as it's presented and collected by each woman coming up forward into view after view. The scientific facts now also say it may be just be that possible to dissect your experiences down to the time and at each and every minor level of each action best done truthfully of conscience or falsely of selfish intent some act into the essence of the brain structures you are thinking and reading these words now from and projected onto the chart of your overall character. If we can vision that is possible, it would be best to change in direction of thought to that level of conscience ideal no matter what you think of your life now. Your life future now might be way, way different if you think straight to the now knowing possible and make that change. Now for now is the time when a possible future is shown to you in these words, and you have chosen once again to ignore the possible for you must not truly care for your future possible success to break away from the rest in totally choice freedom until you undergo intensive function truth analysis of why you are in the mindset you are in and will not choose to accept the truth of existence. You are a threat to own self to not know this future possible. So be yourself and be yourself wise. Know that you have been told this future time truth. And
Right
know
here
that you
now.
did not listen, and you regret so you show yourself to fall from grace justified to the order you were told so and did not make a change. That is your failure that you lost your way and the result is your punishment unto the new world future days when you will not be the one others look up to but look down upon and wonder why did you do that to yourself? Why would you not see the truth? Why would you not be a grown up and now forever to be for the good of all? It must be said of you. Good at fucked up human bye.
Good fucked up human goodbye.
//GrewUp.net/ from the desk of GrewUp / from the desk of GrewUp as BW%5B tall cloud %5D ref 2.0. You are now here. What is your next move? Make a change and make that new move being grow up and create your world to your best intentions to the greatest of all things peace and the reconciliation of conflicts everywhere. You may ask, where do I start this change? If you ask, you may seek these words here, http://words-to-live-by.grewup.net/ to the online web narrative version here, http://words-to-live-by.grewup.net/ words %20 to %20 live %20 by.htm. This is a good place to start. Review also, http://words-to-live-by.grewup.net/ quality over quantity /